Welcome back, everyone, to Market Conversations. Another Friday night, another incredible in cryptos and in the world at large, In the United States, we've got an inauguration coming up. We have crypto above and below the $1 trillion market cap level. And the good news for many projects keep on rolling. Most recently, this week, really good for DOT, for those of you that have had your eye on that project for a while, and we're able to get some money into it. Well, you're probably smiling right now. For the rest of us, it's nice to see that a lot of projects have really been holding their ground, even despite 20-25% pullbacks. It really feels like this space is changing. That 2.5-year bear market that we sat through, boy, that was something else. For those of you that came in within the last 7 months, well, you don't know what I'm talking about. But those of us that have been around for a little bit, I'm telling you, we're glad it's no longer the case. So let me say hi to some folks. Hi, Pete Kelly. Hello, Lori. Hello, Bitta. And hello, Lance. Great to have you guys. And I see that there are a lot more people actually tuned in than are chatting. So, Scorpion, nice to have you. So whether you are just hanging out and just enjoying the show or participating in the chat, I want to thank you. I want to welcome you. Jay Parr, nice to have you here tonight. Let you know, I'm really excited to have Mo in the house from, of course, DevNull Productions, programmer, coder, investor, Twitter contributor, bright guy. Ray, hey, good to have you here, Ray. Going to have a really interesting conversation. We also, our new little feature to the show is our live call-in. You can pick up your phone. Brady will put up a number on the screen, and you can call in and ask Mo a technical question. Ask him a personal question. He may not answer you, but that won't stop you from calling. Feel free to participate in any which way you feel you'd like to. We're just glad that you're tuning in and here with us tonight. So without any further ado, let me introduce y'all to Mo. Hey, Mo, say hi to the gang.
Yes, hello, Jerry, and hello to all the viewers. It's great to be here.
Boy, we had a little audio lag going on between the picture. It might be me. Costa Rican internet, you never know.
Technology, who develops these things anyways? I want to meet those guys.
There you go. Now it's starting to work.
Exactly. Sounds good.
So, Mo, tell me what's shaking in your neck of the woods for 2021 so far. How are things been going with DevNull Productions? How are things going with you personally as an investor? Any new insights? How do you want to kick this thing off?
There's many ways we can proceed. There's too many things to talk about, right, Jerry? It's been quite a year already. As many investors already know, many listeners are staying up to date with the XRP news, with the SEC and all of that. The markets have been very, has been in turmoil somewhat from that perspective. But, perhaps we'll get into that later. Let's start with some better news. Life has been good. Personally, I'm here in New York City. We have a meetup coming up, the New York XRP meetup. Invite everyone to attend that. We can talk about those details a little later on. Holidays have been great. The weather has been warm and nice. So, everything, life is good. DevNull Productions, my startup, we've been in business for a couple of years. We've developed tools focused on XRP analytics, as well as other blockchains, XRP, XLM, several other cryptocurrencies that we focus on. Things are really picking up this past year, and I'm really excited to see what 2021 is going to bring. And overall, I'm really optimistic about what the future holds for all of us in the crypto sphere and, in the markets in general. There is a lot of, volatility when it comes to these various assets, as well as stocks and other, investable financial instruments, commodities, and all sorts of things are seeing, patterns which we haven't seen in a very long time, and I'm really excited to see where this all goes.
Well, I'll tell you, and I want to real quickly welcome Bill and Professor XRP. So I was trying to think about what would be like really cool questions to ask a coder/developer, somebody who's in this space, and you're looking to monetize your talents. The startup is not a hobby. You're making a go at this. So I was curious, what kind of like enterprise grade business intelligence stuff are you doing to leverage what these blockchains are producing in the form of data? Mm-hmm. How are you looking, what is your like first type of product? And could you explain it and what benefits it brings to its users?
Sure. That's a great question, Jerry. So DevNull has a few products that we have already brought to the market. We offer our services both on a subscription level as well as a consultancy. As we have talked before, we are active contributors to the XRP ledger, the Ripple code base that governs the network, as well as other blockchain technologies. And, we've been in the sector for a long time, long before myself and the few other individuals that are running the startup. Long before we actually built the startup, we've been involved in various cryptocurrencies in one form or another. So our first product is XRP Intel, which I'm sure some of the listeners, some of the viewers have seen on Twitter. Our Twitter feed is XRP Intel, but the I is a 1, so XRP 1 NTEL. XRPintel.com is the site. And there you can see all sorts of data and information pertaining to what's happening on the ledger. XRP and kind of at a larger extent, Byzantine consensus is really exciting technology. The notion that we have these trustless, decentralized assets that can be sent and received, in a manner that's centralist and that's completely transparent, but really without much insight into these networks. They're very limited in terms of how we can derive value from that. So that's where XRP Intel comes in. As you know, XRP is a decentralized exchange. You can send and receive pretty much any quantifiable asset, whether it's US dollars or Bitcoin or gold or really anything. I think one of the early pitches was you can even send airline miles if you want on the XRP ledger. So our software monitors the network and reports on statistics both in real time and on a historical basis. Now, this is important for things like currency traders, for individuals and organizations like market makers, because in order to make informed decisions, and if you're actually writing algorithms to for profit and to trade and all that, you need a reliable data sets to operate on, and that's what XRP Intel provides.
Well, is it similar? Would if I was coming from, let's say, a rudimentary understanding, is it similar to like a lot of the Oracle services that I hear about in the proof of stake protocols that are bringing data? Oh, you're extracting data from the blockchain and taking it to people, not taking data outside the blockchain and putting it on the blockchain. Okay, I'm sorry, I had that backwards.
It's all good. It's almost like a reverse Oracle, if you will, right? It's our software.
It's great.
Yes, without this data, traders can't generate technical signals to actually trade upon. It's not only useful for traders. I mean, there are a lot of, forensics and auditing use cases, which this facilitates. If you want, insight into who's moving funds where and when, you can use these, our services to do so in real time, as well as generate historical trends so that you can see, periods of activity and all of that. In addition to that, our second project is one that's known as ZERP Tracker, ZERP, kind of being the informal name for XRP. Okay. So zerptracker.com is the website. And with this tool, you can set up alerts. Essentially, you can... we provide multiple levels of interaction. So if you're a kind of a new user, you can go in and say, hey, I want to look for payments that are being sent to my accounts, or I want to be notified when a certain currency pair is being offered on the exchange. And then you can get an email or a text message when that activity occurs. So this really brings the kind of the power of the blockchain straight to your inbox, because right now there's no way to derive that value without actively monitoring the ledger, writing software, using one of the many different wallets. With our service, you can kind of, it's a one-stop shop to pull data in and expose it via any mechanism which you will.
Sure. So let me ask you this, because I want to talk about XRP Insights for just a minute. Let me quick welcome a few folks that have joined in recently. Simon, great to have you. Jungle Link, thanks for chiming in. And Elise, nice to have you back. Long Bitcoin and dump XRP. That's a heck of a but I'm glad you tuned in. So here's my question. Let's say Jungle, Bill Gould, DC Precise, Jay Farr, Brady, a bunch of us decided to get together and pool our XRP, right? Would XRP Insight, your service, be able to tell us where that liquidity pool we've created would be best served? Like, do I pick up the phone and call the Dubai office, or do I pick up the phone and call the Tokyo office and say, hey, I've got a couple million of XRP on standby if you need us here. Hey, London, I got some XRP on standby if you need us here. Is that the kind of business intelligence that we're talking about when you're tracking?
It could be used for that. But before I answer that question, I have to correct it. The tool is XRP Intel. So Intel being short for intelligence. So XRP INT.
What did I say?
Insight, I think. But that's a good name too. And
did I say Insight?
I believe so. Maybe we can.
That's horrible.
That's fine. If you go to DevNoProd Twitter, you'll see the link to the websites, and it's easily available online. Also, there was a question online I saw pop up. Where am I from? New York City. And as I mentioned at the beginning of the podcast, maybe some listeners didn't catch it. We have the next New York City XRP meetup coming up on Wednesday. Would love it if everyone who's listening attend. It's going to be a virtual meetup, so feel free to join the meetup group. And it's looking like it's going to be a great time. So to answer your question, Jerry, yes, certainly.
Are you the point man?
What was that?
Are you the point man on that New York meetup? Like, contacting you through Twitter would be a great way to get up to speed on the date and time and the
absolutely. Myself
for the Zoom or StreamYard or whatever.
Yeah, absolutely. Feel free to shoot me a message. You see my Twitter handle by my name, DevNoProd. Also, Brady is one of the co-organizers of the meetup, so feel free to shout out to him. Don't mean to volunteer you, Brady, but there's several of us in the local community. It's a really great group to be part of. Hopefully we'll be able to meet in person, at some point in the future, but we're still living in the world of COVID, so let's not hold our breath on that just yet.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully, who would have thought?
You've talked to us about you've shared with us two of your incredible products. I'm curious with the advent of just the sheer wall of data that Flare networks and all these various things that look like they're coming right on top of the Flare launch will be Flare Finance and To me, that is tons of data, which is kind of right in your wheelhouse, organizing, right? Creating software and organizing business intelligent uses for that data. What do you got in store for Flare coming up? Any little nuggets you can share for us?
Actually, yes. We're working with Flare Labs. So, as you know, Flare is a smart contract by any other name, a way to kind of implement these kind of decentralized finance technologies on their blockchain. It's tied into the XRP ledger. They're also adding support for Litecoin, which they recently announced. So in order to kind of be able to take advantage of the Flare Spark token airdrop, you need to set up your XRP account, right? They have detailed instructions on how to do this. Right now, there's a couple wallets supported, but the issue is that if you don't use one of those wallets, then you're kind of, for lack of a better word, out of luck. I mean, there really is no simple way to set up your XRP account. So we reached out a few weeks back, and we proposed a project to them to write a tool, a kind of a one-off tool to do just that. That's kind of a wallet agnostic way to set up your XRP accounts, and they expressed enthusiasm for this tool, and we've been working on this. So within the next couple of weeks, we'll be releasing that, and we're going to be coordinating with Flare Labs to Flare Networks to promote this tool, and it'll allow anyone, any XRP holder, to set up their account so that they can release the Spark token airdrop, the Spark token on the airdrop.
All right. Well, I'll tell you, I had my tokens on those partnered exchanges, and what I'm thinking about here now, that are you talking about something where the initial snapshot wallet can have me identified to it, and therefore my identity, once it's verified, can now create an agnostic wallet and have a different place to move and get my Flare to? You lost me there. I thought that was already handled. The air.
Not quite. I mean, it's handled if you use, for example, Zum or the Nano Ledger. There's a few major wallets that support the airdrop as it stands. Without going into too many technical specifics, you essentially have to set up an Ethereum address and associate that with your XRP account. And I just kind of want to leave it at that, because there are a few technical details to that process. So if you use Zum, which is...
All right. How about this?
What's that?
In plain English,
plain
English, there's no problem. I'm not going to have an issue getting my Spark tokens, I had my XRP snapshot on Uphold. Mm-hmm. I'm assuming, by everything they said, I won't have a problem.
That's true. There are several.
Have a problem?
No problem. There are a lot of we can breathe easier, Jerry. Exactly. I don't mean to concern anyone, right? A lot of the major exchanges said they're going to support the Flare airdrop, and if you have your crypto on one of those exchanges, you should be fine. But again, there are a lot of crypto users that don't have their funds on exchange. And that's one of the kind of monikers, the famous sayings in crypto that, if you don't own your keys, you don't own your crypto. So while there's nothing, that's one strategy, to have your funds on exchange or to use one of the supported wallets. A lot of XRP holders don't use one of those wallets. There's a lot of XRP holders that have their XRP in cold storage. There are many various other wallets that are supported that can be used to manage XRP. And as it stands today, really, there's no way to set up to receive the Spark token. Well, DevNull Productions is going to rectify that. We're writing software to address that issue, and we'll be releasing it in coming weeks.
Wow, that's cool. It's neat, man. Right on, Mo.
It's a very exciting time and to be in the sector. I really encourage the listeners of this podcast. I mean, there's a lot of use cases. There's a lot of market opportunities out there. So certainly, if you can dream it, you can build it.
Well, you know what? How about we switch hats for a minute? So the coder and the developer, all that stuff is wonderful. Truth is, it's kind of over my head. Let's put on the Mo as an investor hat, and let's talk crypto investing.
Sure.
Want to give it a go?
Sorry, Jerry, you cut out there for a second.
Okay, if my internet in Costa Rica is not cooperating, I apologize. Let's put on our investor hat and talk crypto investing.
Sure.
So, what do you find interesting in the space? Anything tickling your fancy recently?
It's been, the markets have been really wild in the past few weeks. I wasn't an early Bitcoin adopter, and I honestly didn't expect to see the type of activity that we saw in 2017. It really feels that the markets are moving up a lot. Now, anything is possible, right? I mean, the markets can continue moving up. We can see a retractment. I try not to, do any price predictions or anything like that. For me, the more interesting, aspects of this ecosystem is utility, and this technology that's backing that utility. I think that things like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and the many other projects that there's a lot of potential there, but there's also things that need to be addressed as well. So this is one of the things that initially drew me to XRP, and it's not just XRP. I'm also a fan of XLM, Stellar, because the Byzantine consensus, these kind of category of blockchain technologies represent kind of the next generation of technology when it comes to distributed ledger technology. There's a lot of other ones. Certainly, we could be here all night talking about Chainlink and Zap and EOS and many of the other technologies. But up to this point, my focus has been mostly on the Byzantine category, XRP, XLM. Obviously you can't ignore the power players, Bitcoin and Ethereum. Bitcoin itself, the markets tend to be tied to that, but we'll see what the future holds with all these technologies.
Can you hear me?
Can hear you now, yes.
Okay, sorry. Boy, not having a great internet night. I'll tell you what I find really super exciting. And it's not a specific project, although there are some that I love and it's well publicized. It's the dematerialization to so many friction injuries. Like if you've ever done a real estate transaction, there is tons of friction in that transaction. All these counterparties are involved. It takes a lot of time. It costs a lot of money. Blockchain can dematerialize so many of those friction points, bring the cost down, make it faster, cheaper. And that's just one. they're all over the place. These pain points in business, in just dematerializing these old legacy policies and procedures in the way things get done. Like, for instance, I don't know if you deal in the stock market much, but you're dealing with settlement times, you're dealing with custodial time delays, you're dealing with the time between order being taken or settled, and all the various functions between. Blockchain brings such a radical change to that, right?
Yeah.
And like, I don't know, it's very exciting. These projects take me back to a time I remember when I was a very little kid, and my grandmother had her bonds, right? Her bonds were papers that she had. They're called bearer bonds. Now, whoever was holding the bond, I remember, because I would get one at Christmas. I would get given a paper bond. These bearer bonds. Well, tokenization creates a bearer instrument if the value is in the token, not a placeholder for something. Well, many tokens are the value, whether they're US dollars or they actually represent a piece of the thing. To me, this is really exciting. Now you do truly own your value. You know what I mean? It's not some proxy representation.
Yeah, it's really, there is a revolutionary aspect to this technology. That's for certain. There's still a lot of naysayers out there when it comes to, the legitimacy and kind of the future of cryptocurrencies and blockchain in general. That's going to be the case with any new technology, right? Or any new industry or anything like that. Things really take time to take hold. And, speaking as a developer, as an engineer by trade, progress is iterative. I mean, the first version of any new technology is not ever the final version, which is kind of why, again, I don't want to harp on Bitcoin or anything. I really respect Bitcoin and kind of the path that it's set, but there are so many more improvements upon its as manifested in other blockchain technologies. Now, Bitcoin has the name, and it also has the kind of the historical significance, and in some senses that might be enough for it to retain value indefinitely. I mean, individuals still collect Roman coins and coins from antiquity, and not because they're used in currency or and these things have far higher markup than their the nominal value of the gold in these coins, but it's because of the kind of the historical significance, the recognition that these were part of history, and these coins were minted and saw some of the biggest events in human history. Well, perhaps that's where the value in Bitcoin will be going forward. Certainly, the notion that our society is being ever increasingly digitized, and it's almost like kind of straight out of science fiction. Our reality is moving into the machine. Kind of gives credence, kind of gives weight to the fact that these cryptocurrencies are here to stay, and that these distributed assets, these distributed networks will really kind of govern the our finances and the markets, and really more and more so of just human interaction in the future. Now, which particular cryptocurrencies will be the big winners of it all? I wish I could say, but we were talking about diversification before, and that's one strategy for some to use to try to hedge their bets.
Well, absolutely. There's no doubt that diverse is a place, but everybody should be they should try to find where they fit, right? What's their risk tolerance? How much capital do they have to deploy? You know what I mean? And go from there, build a strategy based on their individual situation, not somebody else's best thing to, you know what I mean? So that requires a learning. You have to learn about these things. You can't just take a headline from somebody or a tweet and apply that strategy to you and have it be ideal.
You're absolutely correct, Jerry. You know, it's there are, you know, there's a million chefs in the kitchen, right? The due to social media, due to the kind of the commoditization of knowledge. I mean, you can read different opinions and different strategies and all day. And one important thing to consider is that you don't really know the complete picture, the complete financial situation, the complete personal situation, the history of any individual or any organization which is giving a recommendation. So while it's important to be kind of knowledgeable and to try to expose yourself to as many different opinions, and equally important to opinions which are in contrast to your own, I mean, those which you don't necessarily agree with right now, at the end of the day, we're each responsible for our own, success, our own, journey on this planet. And so, we have to make our own decisions. No matter what, make sure to enjoy the journey too.
Speaking of decisions, did I cut you off?
No, it's fine. I was just going to say, enjoy the journey. It's really an exciting time. It's fine, Jerry. It's it's an exciting time that we live in. The dawn of these digital assets, and almost every week now, every month, there's the market can shift very quickly. I mean, unfortunately, as XRP enthusiasts, the market's shifted in the negative direction this past month, but I very much believe in the kind of the yin and the yang when it comes to certain things. Maybe this SEC news will turn out to be favorable for us. One of the early selling points behind Bitcoin was that it was kind of an outsider technology, right? It wasn't adopted by the institutions, and at the risk of sounding like a hipster, if you were in then, you were in before it was cool. Well, now kind of Bitcoin is the cool thing to be in. And while I don't advise people making their financial decisions on what's cool or not, certainly perception goes a long ways in terms of market sentiment. So we'll see what the long run impact of this SEC news is going to be. Right.
Well, I see that we have gotten to that point in the show where our lady on the street, Bitta Av, is in the green room waving. She looks happy. She's excited. I can tell she's got some questions. Let's go ahead and welcome in Bitta Av.
Happy Friday, everybody. How are you today? Good. We have a technical person that can answer some of my crazy questions that probably I don't know if my questions will make sense, because I am not a techie person in any way, shape, or form. So it'll be nice to have technical questions answered.
Well, I mean, ask away. I mean, we'll take them one by one.
All right. So one of the hey Ida, one of the questions that I have is, so when somebody says the XRP ledger is decentralized and anybody can use it, how is it that it can be used for somebody like me who's new to this space, or even to the technology in general? What does that mean when they say that? How can somebody like me utilize the ledger?
Sure, that's a great question. any blockchain or really any software network, because really that's what blockchains are or how they're implemented, consist of essentially what are known as nodes. These are hardware machines, computers running a specific software. Now, it's important that these, the system is engineered with several considerations in mind. Uptime is a big one, reliability, and all of that. But the decentralized aspect means that there is really no single entity running the majority or the set of nodes that are needed to ensure the network is operational. So in the terms of XRP, there are various websites you can go to. Ripple Labs has one, XRP charts, where you can see the different nodes on the network. And there are various organizations around the world, whether they are run by different financial institutions or members of the community or individuals that run nodes on the network. So in the case of XRP, it's something like, the exact number is slipping my mind, but the majority of the nodes on the network are not run by Ripple Labs, and hence that the definition is accurate in the sense that the network is decentralized.
Okay. So what does that mean when somebody says you're running a node? What exactly are you doing when you're running a node?
Sure. Another great question. Essentially, you're setting up a machine and installing the software to govern the network. So anyone can do this. The software is open source. You go to either GitHub if you want to check out the software from the source code itself and to run it via that mechanism, or there are pre-built applications. So just like on your smartphone, you go to the Google Play Store and you click install. You can go to the website is slipping my mind. I apologize, but it's essentially the developer, the technical website. You can download a version of the software. You can run it on your computer at home or a computer in a data center on the cloud, if you will, and you're essentially running a node now on the network. It will automatically connect to other nodes, other individuals and organizations who are running the software and communicate in a decentralized manner.
And then as far as security is concerned, everybody says that everything is tracked. Everything is, everybody knows how everything is moving. And I am trying to make a connection in my mind. When somebody goes into your wallet and takes your coins, if you know where those coins have been, which wallet, how is it that we're not able to track where it went if we have like some sort of a way of tracking everything? That doesn't make any sense to me as far as security is concerned.
Security can mean multiple things, Beta. You have to, as with any technology or any really kind of, it doesn't necessarily have to do with technology, but any feature of any product can be seen in different lights. Let's take a traditional financial instrument, cash, right? I mean, the one of the most traditional ones there is. One of the upsides to it is it's anonymous. I mean, if you want to. You don't want people tracking your financial transactions or anything like that. That's great. If we live in the era of big data and corporations and all sorts of entities have access to our data, our credit card statements, our PayPal, our Venmo accounts. So anything that we swipe on a credit card is going to be instantly known by a number of organizations. Not only those organizations, but who they sell the data to. On the flip side, with cash, I mean, you know, obviously it can be used for nefarious purposes by bad actors. It's hard to, you know, track your expenses if you're using cash all the time. So there's upsides and downsides to, you know, that financial instrument. You know, we want to talk about gold. I mean, gold is great. It's universally held its value for thousands of years, but it's also heavy and it's not portable. So there is upsides and downsides to that too. With cryptocurrencies, with blockchain, yes, all the transactions are transparent on the ledger. Now, there are some technologies, one particular comes to mind called Monero, implements a way to kind of obfuscate that, implements a way to kind of hide those transactions and that history trail. But most blockchains, for all intents and purposes, are completely transparent. So yes, I mean, in the sense that that transparency can be seen as a good thing and a bad thing. That's a trade-off that we have to kind of recognize when we're adopting this technology. You know, it's great if we have more transparency into the kind of macro financial systems. There's a lot of things that go on behind the scenes that probably should be more visible to the public and, you know, to the people that this activity impacts. Whether or not, you know, we want every Starbucks payments and, you know, every you know, whatever payments be exposed to the world, that's questionable, but that's the nature of the beast.
Okay.
Oops.
We can't hear you, Gary.
I was just going to say, can I chime in for a minute?
Absolutely.
Please do, yes.
Okay.
I didn't catch that. Did you, Beta?
No.
Audio issue, I think. I think he's saying continue on. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I couldn't hear. I guess it honestly didn't fully answer my question because if I know what my wallet address is and I know what has been there, I'm trying to understand how it is that I can't track where those went when somebody like moves them. It's just not making sense to me if I know, like, if things are visible on the ledger, like why I'm not able to track that.
Well, you can. I mean, the thing is the tools, right? Right now, we're used to, you know, point and click, very easy to see, go to your PayPal account and see your transactions and all that. We need more tools that expose that functionality. As I was mentioning, you know, I was talking with Jared before, my startup, DevNull Productions, we provide various tools in this sector. XRP Intel, XRPintel.com allows you to go and look at any particular account. For example, your wallet, Beta, you plug in your address and you can see all the transactions. Then, you know, if someone sent you a payment or similar, you can click on their account and you know, kind of go back from there. As well as our tool, ZervTracker. ZervTracker.com allows you to set up alerts. So, for example, if you want to receive an email whenever someone sends a payment to your account, you can do that with ZervTracker today. You sign up for an account, you click monitor my account, you put in your account address, and bam, whenever someone sends a payment to you, you'll receive an email. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. I mean, we expose a lot of functionality. We expose essentially a way to inspect every single transaction that goes to the network and kind of say, I want to be notified when exactly these fields, you know, this type of activity is detected. And if you want to receive an email, a text message, and all of that, you can do that through ZervTracker.
Oh, okay. And what are the ways that individuals like me can use XRP and the XRP ledger to actually send and receive actual fiat outside of the MoneyGram and things like that? Is it possible to use it for that functionality with individuals?
Another great question. Yes. So this actually kind of ties to one of the questions that just popped up on screen. So maybe I can address both those questions at the same time. Perfect. Yes, this question specifically, I'll just read it. Does the XRP use case imply its value at all? Does XRP Ledger need a specific token to function with its IOUs? So first, to address your question, Beta, in order to send or receive any other asset besides XRP on the ledger, you need what's known as an IOU, and that literally should be taken as its literal name, in the sense that I owe you something. If an institution such as a bank or another traditional financial institution wishes to operate on the XRP ledger and kind of gain the benefits of the decentralized technology, they can issue currency on the ledger, such as the dollar or gold or Bitcoin, through IOUs. Essentially, this institution still in their vaults holds on to that asset, but they say, okay, let's say you have a bank account with Santander or Bank of Kuwait, or one of the many institutions that work on the network. Then they can issue the currency. They can issue the however much dollars or other currency that you have on the XRP network. And then once that you receive that token, it operates like any other token on the network, XRP or anything else. You can send and receive that. You can send that to anyone else. So you can pay a friend for a coffee, or you can pay your landlord, or anyone that wishes that can accept payment with that token. They can receive that. At the end of the day, that institution, Santander or Bank of Kuwait, still has the asset. They still have the dollars or whatever other asset that they are issuing on the ledger. But instead of owing you that asset, instead of owing you $100, now they owe your friend the $100 which you sent it to. Now, to tie in the question that was I apologize, I forgot, I didn't catch who mentioned it. The XRP network is Vasco Silver. Yes, the XRP network uses XRP in multiple capacities. First of all, XRP is used to pay the fees for the network as a kind of an anti-spam measure, but it's also used to bridge currency pairs. So as we had mentioned before, the technology implements an exchange, a currency exchange. So if Bitstamp issues dollars and MoneyGram is issuing Mexican pesos, I can exchange one for the other using the XRP ledger. Now, at the end of the day, there might not be liquidity in those markets. And for those who are listening and are not familiar with liquidity, it's the ability to buy or sell an asset without impacting the price. An illiquid asset, when you sell it or you buy it, the act of creating those offers, the intent to buy or sell, will impact the price because people are monitoring these markets and all of that. Versus a liquid asset, the price will not be impacted because there's a lot of buyers and sellers. So XRP can be used and is used to bridge order books, essentially to provide liquidity so that you can always sell dollars for XRP, you can sell XRP for pesos, and thus, in that manner, you can sell dollars for pesos. And thus, it's kind of acts as a currency of last resort. It's kind of the ultimate currency on the network that serves multiple roles. In addition to running the network itself, it can be used to kind of fulfill the intent of the network in order to, realize the vision of this decentralized financial exchange.
Yeah, he actually rephrased my question well, Jason.
Aim it, please.
You want to take a stab at this one, Mo? I think this is a great question that a lot of people have, and that is, with transparency and the tools, why can't these thieves be tracked down?
Well, they can, Jerry. That's the thing. This network, the XRP network, is completely transparent. We can monitor funds as they are moved from account to account, and there are various organizations and community members that do it. With Zerp Tracker, our product, you can set up alerts so that whenever, let's say someone stole your funds, and you're monitoring the network so that whenever the funds are moved to an exchange, for example, you can get an email immediately. You can get a text message immediately, and you can call that exchange. You can get in touch with that exchange. Unfortunately, the situation is many exchanges don't care, which is a very big downside to the kind of the current state of the ecosystem. We really need to get better kind of as a community to kind of support and to rally behind the exchanges that are proactive and that are responsible in terms of, addressing, preventing scammers from leveraging their services and from, taking advantage of, the naivety of many individuals or the lack of understanding of those who aren't properly securing their cryptocurrencies. But on the flip side, we also should be proactive about, I don't want to use the word shun, but we should be calling out the exchanges that don't and that have been known to kind of blatantly allow scammers to use their services and to launder money through the exchanges. At the end of the day, it's really, as it stands, the exchanges that provide the on-ramps and the off-ramps into the crypto world, and they need to be held accountable for what they allow and they don't allow on their platform.
Okay. Yeah, I was always curious to why is it that we can't track it if all our activity is able to be tracked for tax purposes. Like, why am I not able to see where my crypto went? Somebody stole it from my wallet. It was always a curiosity of mine. So
hopefully this hasn't happened. I mean, your crypto is still safe. Okay, good. So it's a thought exercise. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it was just because I see a lot of messages online of the different people that lost their crypto and things like that. And since I'm new and I interact with a lot of people that are new to the space, these are the things that we talk about because I don't have enough to be so worried about it, but just curious about it.
Sure.
Final thoughts. All right. Final thought. I am happy to find out that I'm able to track my crypto when I get to the point of having enough to worry about tracking it. So that's nice.
Certainly, it's and as we were saying before, we don't know which cryptocurrencies will moon in the future. So even a small amount these days could a small amount stolen or misplaced, if you will, could be costly in the long run. So I would say there's a lot of things that we can do as community members. As I mentioned before, kind of encouraging best practices when it comes to cryptocurrencies, holding the institutions that we are placing trust in accountable. And I think this will go a long way to paving the road to a brighter future.
Right. I'm curious if is there a place where new people can learn how all this stuff works? Like, is there like a centralized place where people can learn about these things?
By these things,
just the developer, like to be like a new, not developer, but like to understand how all of it works.
Oh, that's a tough one. The problem is that there is an abundance of knowledge out there, and it's kind of easy to get lost, swamped. It's like the Wikipedia paradox, right? I mean, we go to Wikipedia to look something up, and then we click on to something else, and then we click on it. It's a rabbit hole that can draw you in. Unfortunately, I can't. I can't give any specific recommendation when it comes to one single knowledge base that's better than another. There's a lot of good information on the XRP websites. I think it's xrpl.org. But a lot of that is developer oriented. I'm kind of coming from a startup, an engineering perspective, so there is some good tidbits there. So be sure to check that out. One good one that one of the XRP community members maintained for a long time. I'm pretty sure he's still maintaining it. It's called XRP Arcade.
Leonidas.
Yeah.
What's that? Yeah.
Leonidas.
Yeah. Yes. Exactly. Leonidas. He's a great contributor to the ecosystem, and I would advise everyone who's listening to make that one of your first stops when it comes to the content in this sector.
So Bitta, we'll see you backstage. All right. So Mo, final thoughts, brother. It was so great to have you on the show. We got to cover some stuff. Obviously, we could have kept going for another 2 or 3 hours. You are a wealth of information. In the show notes, description, Mo's Twitter. Follow Mo. He's doing stuff. This guy is making stuff happen. But Mo, final thoughts on the show tonight. Your feelings. Your maybe one more plug for the virtual meetup, the XRP virtual meetup for folks that maybe a couple that came in late and didn't hear it.
Yes, absolutely. Before we go into that, thanks for having me, Jerry. It was a great pleasure. It's really great podcast. I really enjoy watching it and listening to it every week. Yes, the meetup, as we mentioned before, the New York City XRP meetup. Go to meetup.com, NYC_XRP. Our next meetup is going to be this upcoming Wednesday. It's going to be a virtual meetup, obviously still doing the social distancing due to COVID. Everyone is welcome to attend. Just sign up for the meetup group and for the event itself, and you'll get the details via that channel. We're going to have a great discussion. We're going to talk about all sorts of topics. I think I want to end with, I guess, the big topic, the big concern that has been predominant in our community, and that's the SEC news. Right, we talked about it a little bit during the podcast, but we haven't we didn't talk about it too extensively. First of all, I mean, this is nothing new. I mean, SEC has gone off after many institutions in its history. Many institutions, Apple, Amazon, Tesla, within the past few years have come under scrutiny of the SEC. And, those institutions are still among the biggest ones in the world today. So just because, yes, it might be seen as a setback and the markets haven't reacted too nicely for it to the news, it's not a smoking gun. There's still a lot that can happen, in our favor going forward. In some senses, though, the fact that we are XRPs or, Ripple and the ecosystem is in the crosshairs kind of legitimizes this whole sector. If we weren't, having an impact on the world, if we weren't doing the right thing, then, no one would care. The crosshairs wouldn't be on us, and we wouldn't, be under scrutiny, it's because that we are having an impact, and we are shaking the status quo, and we are moving the system. That now the focus is on us, and it's easy to get discouraged, but we have to keep moving forward. That's the important thing. We have to keep on staying true to what we believe in, and realizing that we can change things for the better, and take it day by day. We all have an important role to to manifest, to realize in this ecosystem, and believing in ourselves. And at the end, we'll see it through, and we're going to come out stronger and more prosperous than ever.
Right on. Well, hey, I'm going to put you in the green room. We do a little after show hangout. We just talk, blah, blah, blah. You're more than welcome to hang with us. You are an incredible guest. I hope that you'll consider coming back at some time in the future, talk about any new products you got going on, and expand upon any evolutions or iterations of XRP Intel or ZERP Tracker. I think those are really incredible little, well, not little, they're real business endeavors. Those are projects that you're working on. I wish you nothing but the best of luck going forward with them.
Sounds good. Thanks a lot, Jerry.
All right, I'll see you in a minute. So, wow, folks, good show. There were some folks I didn't get a chance to say hello to. Hello, Gerald. Kelly, it's so nice to see you in the stream. Ada, welcome. Obviously, Jason, I didn't get a chance to acknowledge you. Thank you so much for your comments. Apex Crypto, good to have you here tonight if you're still hanging with us. Vasco Silver, obviously, great to have you. And probably a few more that I have missed. My final thoughts are really kind of simple, folks. I'll tell you, every once in a while, just when I think I've got a handle on things, a new door opens up for me and a new path of learning presents itself, and I find I question things, and it's through that questioning things that I learn even more. And so one of the things that I've been working on for the last couple of months is this whole concept of a collateralized lifestyle. And I really knew that I was onto something because I was drawing correlation to the way the wealthy have preserved wealth, gained wealth for so long. It's really about tax avoidance, and it's really about asset accumulation and not selling assets unless they're impaired. Well, I'm almost there. I've got a spreadsheet that needs to get finished, but the working model's in place. The tax info is coming in, and I will be able to unleash this bad boy upon you very soon in the future. Also, if you've hung out to the end of this podcast, then you're a watcher of this channel. I'm creating a Patreon group just for you guys. This is going to be literally an investment club. And this investment club is going to have a couple of times a month, we're going to meet in a virtual way, whether it be through Zoom or StreamYard. We are going to have a fund that I will put together through your Patreon subscription whatevers. And I will have some tiers, and I will make it not only fun, but it's going to be, well, I'll just say it's going to be fun, and there is going to be an opportunity to learn, apply. And the whole concept here is that we learn the strategies as investors that are right for us in our unique situation. And we're able to define to others what we're doing and why. And through that, disseminate to a larger group of people. See, it's not enough for just Jerry to get filthy wealthy, right? Although it's going to be great that I'm becoming filthy rich, it's not enough. I want you to get an understanding. I want you to have a financial literacy. I want you to be able to come at investing with processes and information and experience and knowledge so that you produce incredible outcomes in your own investment life. At the end of the day, if we're not doing this as part of a community, who's going to do it for us? They're sure not teaching this stuff in school, right? We have to do it ourselves, but we have all the tools available to do it. All we need from each other is some tolerance, some willingness, some cooperation, and we can get the job done. Anyway, folks, thanks for tuning in tonight. I want to thank all of you that are so gracious in your support of this channel. If you're new, hit the subscription bell if you found some value, or the subscription tab, and hit the notification bell to be notified of what's coming next. And look forward to the Patreon. Looking forward to that. I should have that available the next 10 days. Anyway, folks, thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, Pura Vida.